I'm in a New York state of mind. I've seen all the movie stars in their fancy cars and their limousines, been high in the Rockies under the evergreens. I know what I'm needing, and I don't want to waste more time. I'm in a New York state of mind. It was so easy living day by day, out of touch with the rhythm and blues. But now I need a little give and take. The New York Times, the Daily News. It comes down to reality, and it's fine with me, 'cause I've let it slide. Don't care if it's Chinatown or on Riverside. I don't have any reason left them all behind. I'm in a New York state of mind. So easy living day by day, out of touch with the rhythm and blues. But now I need a little give and take. The New York Times, the Daily News. I'm in a New York state of mind. I'm just taking a Greyhound on the Hudson River line. Cause I'm in a New York state of mind. Yeah,
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Please turn your attention to the screens.
can have it rolled up.
What's that?
You can have it rolled up the right way.
Yeah. Thank you. Our speaking program will begin shortly.
That's just me. Nothing phony. Don't hate on me. What you get is what you see. Don't be fooled by the rocks that I got. I'm still Jenny from the block. Used to have a little, now I have a lot. No matter where I go, I know where I came from. Don't be fooled by the rocks that I got. I'm still Jenny from the block. Used to have a little, now I have a lot. No matter where I go, I know where I came from. I'm down to earth like this, rocking this business. I've grown up so much, I'm in control and loving it. Rumors got me laughing, kid. I love my life and my public. Put God first and can't forget to stay real. To me, it's like breathing. Don't be fooled by the rocks that I got. I'm still Jenny from the block. Used to have a little, now I have a lot. No matter where I go, I know where I came from. Don't be fooled by the rocks that I got. I'm still Jenny from the block. Used to have a little, now I have a lot. No matter where I go, I know where I came from. Oh, Boricua. Boricuas in the house. All right, now bring it back. Don't be fooled by the rocks that I got. I'm still Jenny from the block. Used to have a little, now I have a lot. No matter where I go, I know where I came from. Don't be fooled by the rocks that I got. I'm still Jenny from the block. Used to have a little, now I have a lot. No matter where I go, I know where I came from. Don't be fooled by the rocks that I got. I'm still Jenny from the block. Used to have a little, now I have a lot. No matter where I go, I know where I came from. Don't be fooled by the rocks that I got. I'm still Jenny from the block. Used to have a little, now I have a lot. No matter where I go, I know where I came from.
Said, brother, can I borrow a thin, brother? You know, a dime. Say, sis. I sure like to have this old dime for me so I can get this cup of coffee. Caught me a snack or something. I guess I better quit trying to be hip and get on down. Hey, man, like, you know. I was born in New York City on a Monday. It seems I was out trying to shoot by Tuesday noon. All the bad cats and the bad hats doing me a real big favor. I got the bad cats and the bad hats playing it on real good. There's a dime boy, give me a shine boy. Oh, just when the cold wind comes, it lives in New York City, and the streets no place to be, but there you are. So you try hard or you die hard. No one really gives a good damn. You try hard and you die hard. No one gives a damn. There's a dime boy, give me a shine boy. Burning house in New York City. Ain't no way to be, but wherever you go, when you're down and out in New York City, I'm never gonna get that way again. Woo! No, not me. When you need a friend, need to have her. When you want a friend, gonna get myself together till the morning. Gonna leave it all like a one bad dream. All the bad cats and the bad hats doing me a real big
Good morning, distinguished guests. Please welcome the President, CEO, and Commissioner of Empire State Development, Hope Knight. The President of New York Creates, Dave Anderson. And please stand and welcome the 57th Governor of the great state of New York, Governor Kathy Hochul.
Good morning, and welcome to New York Creates. I want to thank you for joining us on this brisk but beautiful upstate morning. It's always an honor to host our governor, along with so many other local dignitaries and partners in the room this morning, so thank you all for being here. I will say that we would not be here today without Governor Hochul's vision and strategic investment in keeping Albany and New York State the epicenter of semiconductor research and development, and the opportunities it brings to our region and to the U.S. So thank you, Governor. Today we're here to celebrate a major milestone in the growth of this site, expanding our capabilities and further cementing our status as a top R&D center in North America. As we raised the last beam for completion of nanofab reflection, signing that beam is both historic and symbolic. As it's set in place with the governor's signature on it, it represents that Governor Hochul will forever be part of the infrastructure that will house the most advanced semiconductor manufacturing technology in the world. So it's one that will create new innovations and new products critical to all of us, to our way of life, and to our national and economic security. So today, as we celebrate the significant milestone, it's certainly not the last step. It's just the next one on the road to leading America's chip resurgence. We look forward to working closely with our partners, engaging in new collaborations, and further driving the next era of American leadership in technology, right here from Albany. So now, please give a warm welcome to the Governor of the great state of New York, Kathy Hochul.
Good morning, everyone. It's a lot warmer in here than it was outside. Didn't see all of you out there with 8-degree real field temperature on your skin watching the beam go up, but hopefully you had a chance to see it here. It is so great to be with Dave Anderson again. I love what sets New York State apart from all the others. We have creative geniuses, people who see and have visions of concepts and ideas and opportunities where others cannot possess that same capability. So we have that here in this place and in Dave Anderson. I want to thank him for helping come up with this idea 3 years ago. And it took, actually it's not as long as things usually take. I think that's pretty fast to be able to be lifting the beam today, looking at a project that's going to be starting to have more milestones in March and June, and certainly by October of the next year. And I want to give you a special round of applause for everything you and the whole team here at New York Creates does. I want to thank Commissioner Hope Knight. She was out there in the cold with me. She's tough and has traveled the state in search of opportunities to strengthen New York's economy. And it's really grown dramatically under her leadership as well. So let's give her another round of applause. My partners in government, Assemblymember Gabriela Romero's here, Assemblymember John McDonald's here, Mayor Kathy Sheehan, and our Mayor-elect Dorsey Eplers from the city of Albany. Let's give them all a round of applause as well. Thank you. Thank you. And our partners in industry and labor. Labor was in the house outside when it was very cold out there, but these iron workers have been working for a long time, and all their other partners, and it's really making a difference. When I first got elected, I wanted to do something really significant as an upstater, the first upstate governor in a long time, first governor from Buffalo since Grover Cleveland. I witnessed the decline of a region that was once proud. Upstate's legacy was built on manufacturing. We built things. We knew how to do this. And many of the immigrants who came over without a lot of skills but willing to work hard could live a good life, live the American dream, like my grandfather could raise 8 kids in a tiny house, but he had a union card and a job at the steel plant. And his brother Tommy was an iron worker who would make that steel into beautiful buildings. And there were longshoremen and so many others bringing in the steel from the Midwest and the other component parts and shipping it out along the Great Lakes. So I saw the whole system, how it worked when I was very young, but I also, as a young adult, saw the decline. And it hurt. It was painful to see people who believed in a dream that thought that the manufacturer would always be there, could not foresee the foreign competition or businesses going to warmer weather and a variety of reasons leaving upstate New York. And it hit Albany, and Utica, and Syracuse, and Rochester, and Buffalo particularly hard. So I had a vision when I became governor. If we could find the next new wave, the next revolution, and to put a stake in the ground and let New York be the premier place in the nation, the world for that, then we can allow people to have that dream again and draw the smartest and attract the smartest people you'll ever see right back to our state instead of them getting a great education here and then going elsewhere for their futures. My friends, all that is happening. And I'm so proud to preside over this. And it really restored the pride and prosperity of our urban areas upstate, because we saw what had happened. And we're leaning hard into technology. Technology means a lot of different things, but focusing on the emerging technologies where other states have not gone as far as we're going. So we said, why not here in upstate New York? And today, you heard from Dave, was another major step forward toward making that vision a reality. As I mentioned, the iron workers of Local 12 raised the final beam on this incredible EUV accelerator. And just talking to them, talking about how tough they are, it's really cold outside, showing up every day. It reminded me, and I told one of them that my Uncle Tommy used to do this work in Buffalo in the cold. And I want more of those jobs created in the building of these facilities. We're seeing that all over now, but also what happens inside these buildings. So my friends, this is a very good day for upstate New York. And also this will be home to North America's premier lab for semiconductor research. Right here in Albany. The most elite, smartest people are going to be congregating here. And I think that's just extraordinary. And I want to thank all the people who work day in and day out to make this happen. And I also want to thank Senator Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, Minority Leader now, sorry, used to be Majority Leader. Chuck Schumer was a tremendous partner in this as well. We stood on the stage many, many times with incredible announcements, and he has been steadfast in his support for this region, but also finding ways in Washington to unleash money and support for programs that allow us to do what we're doing here, especially in the semiconductor space. So we had a shared vision to make New York State the semiconductor capital of the world, and we're on our way there. So up and down the corridor, we're doing much more. We, think about what we accomplished when it was a great month when Joe Biden had signed the CHIPS and Science Act into law, and the state legislature almost immediately followed suit with our own Green CHIPS and Science Act here in New York. Because what President Biden did in unleashing all those billions of dollars to invest in this research, he made the United States more competitive. But how would that translate into New York State being more competitive? So we stepped up, and we stepped up fast. I want to thank my entire team at Empire State Development who visualized what this could be and how it could position us in a great place of power to have the money on the table and the resources and the locations and the support to make this happen. So we have been selected, and it's not just Micron down the road, which gets a lot of attention. It issued $100 billion there, but also investments in Edwards Vacuum, TTM, Menlo Micro, Global Foundries investing billions and billions of dollars more because they see that this is the place for future growth. So for all the industry leaders who are putting down their stakes here, they're the smart ones, because they also know we have something that is very special. We have a deep bench of talented, creative people. Very few places can brag about what we have here, the institutions, the synergy between New York Creates and Albany and all of our other academic institutions around here. So we've invested money to help people learn the skills as well. $500 million invested in workforce development and training for these very jobs. Because people can say, oh yeah, I want to work in that space, but where's the training coming from? Where do you go for that? How do we hold your hand and get you through this? Because I want you to work here. I don't want you to think of any other states. And people from neighborhoods that are underserved, they also need to know that this could be a place that you could build your life and your future. And we'll make sure you have that education. And that's one of the reasons, working with the legislature just a year ago, we announced that we're going to offer free community college for adults 25 and up as they're thinking about either transferring into a different career or haven't figured it out until that age. If they go into a field like advanced manufacturing, we're picking up the cost of everything. And that's books and everything, all your fees. And I'm so proud that we just launched this. It was passed this spring and into law in June. This fall alone, there's been a huge spike in applications at all of our community colleges. That's what I want to help support them, but also the people walking through those doors will know they're going to have skills that allow them to work in places like this. So that's how we make it happen. We invest in the places, the ideas, the people to come here, but also what we've done with the on-ramp training centers, the physical locations. We had to do this, taking underused properties and making them have a whole new lease on life. And so I'm really proud of what we've done there. But there's also one more thing we needed to do. And it's, as you know, we're in a competitive world. Not just here in the US, but seriously with China. This is a major threat to our national security. And that's why I think it's so important that these chips be domestically made and supported here, where we can trust the processes and trust that they're going to be in the right hands of people and not abused. So I want to make sure that it's not just designing microchips, but it's also refining them. And what we have to do now to be competitive is make them smaller and faster and more efficient. And that's what this is all about. Whoever does that will win the race for the future. And I want to win that race. I want to win that race right here. So that's why, once again, New York is being proactive. We invested $1 billion into this cutting-edge R&D hub. It's not a small amount of money with our legislature. Again, thank you to my partners in the legislature. But those investments pay off time and time again. Investing in our people, our places, our institutions, but also our national security and our future. That's what that $1 billion investment was all about. As part of that, we secured one of the most advanced tools on the planet, the high NA extreme ultraviolet lithography machine. Say that 5 times. It's a mouthful. But here's what you need to know. This is absolutely essential to producing the most sophisticated microchips. And that's why it has to happen here. Almost no one has this. When the machine arrives next year, it'll be the first and only publicly owned research hub of its kind in North America. I say that a lot. I like being the first. I like being number one. I like being the one and only, the biggest, the largest, the best, because guess what? We are the New York. We are New York, and we are the best. And why not right here? And so the best researchers, I said, are going to be coming here and partnering with the experts at New York Creates, SUNY, and world-class companies. And so this is how we're shaping the future of technology. It's happening before your eyes. You may not realize it, but it truly, truly is. The future, not just for our state and our country, but for the entire world. And the people of New York can join on this mission. And why are we doing this? Because they'll build the chips that help land our planes, keep our refrigerators cold, and keep our stock markets humming. So my vision is coming to realization that the same smaller cities and upstate towns that were left behind for decades, this is the future now. People are recognizing that this is the place to be. We are center stage in this. And I could not be more proud to be working with dedicated individuals, people who so believe in this state and this vision and the unlimited possibilities that we possess here Could not be prouder, more humble to be the governor of the great state of New York. Thank you very much, everyone. Appreciate, congratulations again to all of our union workers, all of our talented individuals, engineers, all the team that put this together. Congratulations. Thank you.
That concludes today's program. Thank you for attending. We'd ask attendees seated in the first row to please come forward.
Month of May, oh darling, I can't stand it when you look at me that way. I feel the earth move under my feet. I feel the sky tumbling down. I feel my heart start to tremble.
Would any remaining construction and industry partners please come forward?
Ooh, darling, when you're near me and you tenderly call my name, I know that my emotions are something I just can't tame. I just got to have you, baby. Yeah. I feel the earth move under my feet. I feel the sky tumbling down, tumbling down. I feel the earth move under my feet. I feel the sky tumbling down, tumbling down. I just lose control down to my very soul. I get hot and cold.
Once again, thank you all for attending. That concludes our program.
All over.
Please have a nice day and stay warm.
Move under my feet. I feel the sky tumbling down, tumbling down. I feel the earth move under my feet. I feel the sky tumbling down, tumbling down, tumbling down, tumbling down, tumbling down, tumbling down.
I still too young? He kissed the violin there. She took his ring, took his babies. It took him minutes, took her nowhere. Heaven knows he'd have taken anything. All night. She wants a young American. Young American, young American. She wants the young American. All night. But she wants the young American. Shining right through the picture window. She finds a slinking back. Says it passes a foot in my sting. Heaven forbid she take anything but the freak and his title for nothing. This is a step and cuts his hand, showing nothing. It swoops like a song. She cries, where have all Papa's heroes gone? All night. She wants a young American. Young American, young American. She wants the young American. All night. Well, she wants the young American. All the way from Washington. Her breadwinner begs off the bathroom floor. We live for just these 20 years. Do we have to die for the 50 more? Hell, all night. He wants the young American. Young
Hello, everyone. Kara, want to set the... All right. Any on-topic questions?
Yeah, hi. Governor, do you know what happened to the $825 million that Commerce allocated towards this project? And what are you going to do without it?
Well, first off, let me say that that's an important part of the formula, but I was able to amass $9 billion toward this project. So obviously this project is very much still moving forward. So, but I'll let Dave Anderson address some of the ongoing efforts and the communication with the Department of Commerce, and certainly Senator Schumer is very involved in this as well. We appreciate his engagement.
Yeah, thanks, Governor, and thanks, Larry. Yeah, the 825, we had a contract with NatCast, and I think everyone is aware that NatCast no longer is in existence or has a contract with Commerce. So the vast majority of that amount was clawed back by Department of Commerce. NatCast was an aggregator for industry, so the money was going to funnel through that aggregator to projects. Commerce, executed through NIST, is going directly to those projects, so those funds still exist. They will go to those projects. How they add up and when they come, I think is up to Commerce, and so we'd have to refer to the Department of Commerce for that. But clearly, our site has been recognized as the infrastructure and provider for that space. We are the EUV center for that, and as Governor Hochul said, we have invested here, and we have $9 billion of industry money coming towards our EUV center, and we remain on track and progressing forward for that. Thanks.
All right. Happy holidays.
Thank you.
Thank you. And congratulations on the milestone today.
The Grieving Families Act for a fourth time. A lot of those close to the process basically said you never reached out to negotiate and have any conversations toward the end. You basically said that's because you stuck with the same bill 4 times. What's your message to them, and what's a logical starting point for that conversation?
My answer is, don't pass the same bill 4 times if you want to have a different result. I mean, we're willing to have conversations, and I want to have those conversations. And even the trial lawyers who are involved in this, we asked, like, what else, here's what we need to do. Can we get to a conversation? And, they basically ignore it. They send, 1 sentence over. I mean, it's absurd to call what is happening negotiations. I don't understand. And it's something that's, it's hard for people that are affected, but I also have to look at the New York State economy at a time when we have some of the highest insurance rates in the nation, highest automotive insurance rates in the nation and others. I'm working on driving down costs. I have to. But something that is as broad as it's been written, again, I'm willing to have conversations about narrowing the scope, but as broad as it's written, this will affect every government from state on down to the smallest communities. It'll affect every healthcare organization, every hospital, and you know how they're struggling, as well as doctors' practices and any medical nursing homes. The impact is very, very broad. It is economy-wide. Is there a path forward to narrow the focus so we're really helping the people we want to help without driving up insurance for every other business and family in the state of New York? Those are the conversations I'm willing to have. They just don't seem to be.
Would you talk about the legislation you signed to enhance real property tax exemptions for New York seniors?
Sure, very proud of this. What we're doing is giving the opportunity for localities to increase the ability to deduct for seniors from 50% to 65%. So it results in over $300 in savings for a typical family, which really makes a difference these days. And so what we're doing is giving localities the options. And so if they want to do this, I encourage them to do it. But this is a local decision, but they can't make that local decision without authority from the state.
Governor, what do you think your single greatest accomplishment as governor?
I think stimulating the economy after the pandemic for sure. I mean, we had to get the economy moving again. And when I look at places like New York City, which had, they were a ghost town, and we had to take a lot of dramatic measures, including creating more safety in our streets. Because of the pandemic, crime went up. People were not coming into our cities, even upstate cities. And I had to focus on that whole phenomenon of bringing back our economy, bringing back businesses, bringing back people. And the foundation of it all was reducing crime. You look at the crime rates today compared to what they were when I first became governor, it is dramatic. And we're going to be talking about that again tomorrow, whether it's on the subways of New York, whether it's in our streets, whether it's Rochester, Buffalo, Syracuse, which had seen big spikes in everything from car theft to retail theft to homicides were up. So I think the whole system of trying to stabilize this state in the aftermath of the pandemic, and we can declare success now, I'm really proud of that.
Governor, has the Trump administration's push to ban state-level AI regulation changed your thinking on signing the New York RAISE Act?
Well, what I hope doesn't happen is, and we've been nation leading in how we're utilizing, laws to manage the influx of, kind of the Wild West of AI. Now, we are an AI supportive state. We have Empire AI focusing on AI for public good just down the thruway in Buffalo and across the state. But we also have to make sure that we're protecting families and children and people who are subjected to deep fakes and these AI chatbot companions. What is this doing? So we have a lot of ideas on how we want to manage this. It would be devastating if the federal government removed our ability as leaders of our states to protect our citizens. It should come from them. They should be focusing on the same thing we are. They have the ability to do so. But if they use that power instead of helping people manage through what are some scary situations and some difficult challenges, if they use that to remove power from us to be able to do anything, then that is going to be enormously challenging for us. But it's part of our calculation.
So are you considering?
I'm looking at the RAISE Act. I'm looking at all the bills. I've got a lot of bills to look at the next few weeks.
Governor, it seems like the Nassau County Executive will be making an announcement very soon about his plans for 2026. Does that change the dynamics of the race from your view at all?
Well, if there's a Republican primary, it makes it much more entertaining for me. I mean, let's let them go at it. I mean, let's see how they out-mega each other in a primary. So, no, it doesn't matter which Trump cheerleader decides to run against me. The narrative is the same. It doesn't affect what I do. I'm going to keep governing and showing, what we're doing to deliver for people. That affordability is not a phrase that's denigrated the way Donald Trump seems to not even understand what affordability is. We're actually doing something about it. I mean, I just look at my State of the State address from last year, all the promises we made to New Yorkers and delivered on every single one, whether it's huge investments in childcare, the free community college, there's free school lunches, breakfast, the inflation rebates. I was in Queens at a senior center just Friday, got a big hug from a woman who came up and says, I have a couple $100 in my bank account now because you sent me a check, the inflation money, thank you. And we're making a difference in people's lives. So I look forward to having that debate about what they're doing to increase prices and make life harder for people from Washington and support for Donald Trump versus what we're doing here in the state of New York. So it's going to be a good one.
Governor, the incoming Mayor Mamdani put out a video recently instructing New Yorkers on how to deal with ICE, particularly how to avoid being detained by ICE and informing New Yorkers of their rights, that sort of thing. Do you agree that's the sort of thing that the incoming mayor should be doing, should be telling New Yorkers, should be using his position, his pulpit for that? And if so, should the state be doing more of those sorts of things, informing New Yorkers how to avoid detention by ICE?
No, we do. Knowing your rights is something that's pretty American, that it's important for government to use every avenue possible to let people know what the rights are, and so they're not abused. So we fund the organizations that are doing this in New York City. We are supportive. This is something that we know is going on, that in communities all over, especially downstate, but even upstate here, knowing your rights at a factory in Cato before the ICE agents come in and literally separate the workers based on the color of their skin in the break room. I walked through that break room with the owners of that company. They described to me exactly what happened. So everybody in this state should know the rights for themselves, their families, or for their neighbors and their fellow, worshipers in their places of worship. And so, no, everybody should know these rights because they're being trampled on right now. I have no problem with the mayor-elect using his platform to let people know the rights they have in this great country.
In light of recent federal actions that affected SNAP benefits for New Yorkers.
I'm sorry, I can't hear.
In light of recent federal actions that have affected SNAP benefits for New Yorkers, would you consider implementing raising the minimum SNAP benefits for New Yorkers in your executive budget proposal this year?
We're looking at ways to counter what the Republicans have done in Washington. I mean, it was cruel that during the month of November, when people are trying to prepare for a Thanksgiving celebration with their families, that they literally had no money on their SNAP card. I've never seen this in the history of our country. There's never been a government shutdown where they still didn't allow essential programs like SNAP to continue, that nutrition programs were always maintained, except this time. And we will look at it in our budget. We'll look in the context of everything that's happening in our budget in light of what's happening in Washington, so I can't say right now what that's going to look like. But the cruelty has to stop. I mean, we pay, and everybody should point this out, we're all paying federal taxes, right? Those federal dollars from us paying our taxes are supposed to come back to states to cover programs to support Medicaid, Medicare, SNAP programs, education. So they should stop withholding money that's due back to all of us and our constituents. And a SNAP program is an example of that. So I don't have the answer now on what that's going to look like, but certainly, this last year has been very complicated in terms of how we can foresee what our expenses are going to be. What's happening with health care, what's happening with Medicaid, where are the shortfalls, how are we going to manage this? But basically, the bottom line is they and the 7 Republicans who represent the state of New York have been silent. Ask them, go out and ask every one of them, where have you been with these fights and what's happening across the state with people that you represent? That's what, I'm doing what I can do. You should ask people who actually have a voice and are in majority positions and have access to the president and the leadership in Washington's, the House and the Senate. Ask them where they are. They've been AWOL during this whole crisis, and it's just been left up to the governors to lead. But if they were helping us, we'd be much further along.
Thank you. Governor, I'm looking in my crystal ball here, and I'm seeing a potentially awkward moment coming up with your state of the state, with the lieutenant governor possibly being there. He's running against you. And what would be comfortable for you if he's on stage? Usually he sits next to you. Usually, sometimes he plays the role of MC. How does this awkward moment get resolved? And I'd appreciate an answer. Thanks.
Well, if you recall, last year we had everybody in the audience because we have a new venue. We didn't do it we haven't done it the last couple of years in the Capitol, so they have a different seating arrangement, so I would not let that worry you right now where the seating arrangement's going to be taking place. So we'll manage everything, as I always do. Thanks.